Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. And this is our legend segment tonight, y'all. Hey, man, this is the show of all shows. I'm so excited. I'm so giddy about this show. You know, we got a lot of great legends from the 561, but there are none like this group right here from Delray Beach, Florida. And we're here right now with members from the Carver High School Marching Band from 1965 through 1970. Hey guys, all y'all, welcome to the show. Welcome Mr. Carl Wesley, who's a band director there at Carver High School for many years, who taught all these guys. Reggie Neal-French horn, the guy who inspired me to play the French horn, right? Lester Lockett, drum major extraordinaire. Hey y'all, he can dance a little bit, by the way, and turn the baton a little bit. And we got Dr. Sylvester Young. Now, we're talking about some history here, ladies and gentlemen, right? We're going to get into all that with him. And then we got my guy. This guy is a true legend out of Delray, Mr. Bruce Harris. Bruce, welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
And the entertainer. His name is James Roberts, but he's known as TFoot.
TFoot.
TFoot, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Man, it's good to see you, man. And this one right here is special to my heart. She's my blood relative, my cousin. I mean, we grew up together, man. She even tried to spank me a couple of times, you know, when I did wrong in the house. But Valerie Mopsy Scott McKlendon. Flutist, welcome to the show, Valerie.
Thank you, sir. And I'm a flautist. The correct word is flautist, not flutist. We're flautists.
Flautist. Okay, that's the flautist.
Oh, no.
All right. Well,
oh, my goodness. It's a proper term for it.
That's what family do, right? we correct. But listen, man, it's so good to have you guys on this show because, you know, I've done a lot over the past year about Carver High football. And for those of y'all who really know me, I love Carver High, right? For me as a little kid and Delray as a kid, man, I was inspired in such a major way. You know, when y'all hear my story, y'all know Anthony Penn is my real hero. And I want to be just like Anthony Penn, right? And so when you talk about Greg Dawson, Billy Plummer, we talk about Roger Coffey, we talk about that whole era. There was nothing like that time in Delray, right?
Yeah, you're right.
I tell people this, right? Football is a great game, but football would be nothing without the music.
Right.
And with the band, Mr. Wesley put together, man, oh my goodness, man. It was major. I don't know what y'all remember or how y'all remember it because you guys were in it, right?
Yeah.
As a little kid, man, it was like the city of Delray was on fire. You know, it was on fire. You go to the game, you see a great football team, but then again, you start to hear the music, the band, man. And you guys were so, you know, into playing whatever the top 20 songs were. I mean, I can go and hit James Brown, hit a Godfather, maybe want to put a step in, hitch him a step, get a little groove going on at the game. Man, it was just an amazing time. So, welcome all you guys to the show, and we're just going to pick up on that. But I want to first start off by really just telling Mr. Wesley, thanking him. Mr. Wesley, we really want to thank you for all you've done for the city of Delray, you know, because it was bigger than just you, and it was just bigger than just the band. You know, everything you did, everything you accomplished with these guys, it was amazing. It was on another level. And so we want to talk about some of that time, man. We want to talk about some of that, right? So I'm going to go, if you want to interject, just jump in and interject, right? But I want to start with this guy because, you know, the way I look at it, you know, there's a lot of talent here, right? But the drum major is like the quarterback of the band, right?
Yeah.
He's up front leading. And if he's leading the right way, he's getting on people. So Lester Lockett, tell me what it was like for you
a lot of time
to lead all this talent, man.
Because Mr. Wesley tasked us to do a job. Bruce and Mr. West wrote a lot of the music, tasked us with jobs. We're getting out there learning new steps, new music, and all in one time. And we got to put this show together. And a lot of times we're not one of the most liked persons. So I don't want you to ask Valerie. She thought of me. I know she got some comments. but we just had to make sure that he tasked us. When I was drum major, I started the last 2 games of the year and was drum major 10th, 11th, and 12th. But he tasked us to get out in the field, put the show together, and sometimes he will be in the stand with his bullhorn. And once he goes over one time, the drum majors take over, and the section leaders take over. Okay. So it's not just drum majors, is that we asked our section leaders to do that. And Reggie know what I'm talking about. He was the section leader at one time, and Bruce, of course, and Mr. Young, trombone extraordinaire. You know, yes, you have to do your job. But yeah, sometimes the drum major was not the most liked guy, but we sure the show was ready, and we go tell Mr. West, I think they're ready. He'll come and check us out.
That's cool, man. That's cool. That's cool. Well, I tell you, man, I got a lot of questions to ask, but I got to start with this guy right here, Reggie Neal.
Yes, yes, sir.
Reggie and I go back, right? Because Reggie was dating a cousin of mine. They ended up getting married, and Reggie would be over to the house, and he would always talk about the French horn, right? About the French horn, man. And so when I would go to the games and sing with that round thing with that bell coming out the bottom, it was different. I go, okay, all right. So fast forward to 1972, I'm at Carver Middle School, and I go to the band, and I'm in the band. Mr. West is still teaching there, and everybody's running to the saxophone, the trumpet, and the drums. I said, man, it'd be cool to play that French horn like Reggie, man. so I was inspired to play the French horn and had a good time with it. Matter of fact, believe it or not, a lot of y'all may not even know this. I played at high school. My goal was to play the French horn and march in the band my 10th grade year. And didn't know I was going to end up starting football on the varsity as a 10th grader. But that was my goal, Reggie. But you were the one who inspired me to do that, man. I want to be just like you did.
Well, I'm glad you did.
He taught me some things with the French horn.
So Reggie, talk to me about the French horn and why the French horn. And was that the only instrument you ever played, or was that your first love?
No, that wasn't my first love. When I first came in, and I want to say hello to everybody. When I first came in, the one thing that got us all inspired is the same thing that you were seeing, Bobby, and Moxley and y'all when y'all were younger. When you heard the band or knew a parade was coming, I mean, you ran like crazy. And you know what else? We all barefooted. We didn't care how we looked as long as we got to Atlantic Avenue so we could see the band coming down. And then as we got into high school and everything, it was like you were either trying to play football or basketball, running track or something like that, or in the band. And with me, my first love was actually football, but I was so small that everybody that played football, I played with in the street. We played, we went from street to street playing and everything. Yeah. But when I got in there, I was so small they didn't have a uniform that I could fit. So I had to try to find something else to do. And me and Lloyd is not here right now. Right. And we decided, man, let's try this band thing because the band is jumping. So, man, that's what got me inspired to get in there. And actually, I started out, the drums was my heart. I mean, because that's what you heard coming.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't care where you were. When you heard the band coming, you heard them drums. So I started out with that, but a little bit of drums, trying to decide what I wanted to do. And then I played trumpet. I got trumpet a little bit. Okay. My main thing, French horn, me, Lloyd, and I think Willie Jones. I mean, I think I remember us three in there. And just the way that horn sounded, man. When especially around concert season and everything, it just had a nice sound to it. And man, I really fell in love with it when I finally tried that out. So that's what got me hooked on that French horn.
Man, it's a nice horn. It's a nice instrument, man.
Yeah, it really is. It blends in. It fills in a lot of places when instruments are playing. It fills right in there, man. And I'm gonna tell you, it's just really a good feeling when you feel that harmony, when it brings everything together, when everything blends right in.
Right.
It really it's really inspiring, man.
Right. It's a good sounding horn.
And I want to say this one thing before I share. Mr. Wesley, I just want to say hello to you and I thank you. Mr. Wesley almost threw me out the band. Now we used to act though. When we go out on the field, man, I mean, we showing out and everything. Everybody want to be seen.
Right.
We coming off the field and everything, man. And just as we about to get off, I decided I'm gonna stop and just spin my French horn. You know, I want everybody to see. I'm spinning my French horn and everything. When I got ready to throw it back under my arm, my elbow hit the bell. And the bell lapped over. And man, I looked at that. And what I did when I got in that night, I put it in the case. And I didn't tell Mr. Wesley.
Oh my God.
And boy, when he saw that the next morning, called me in there, and I came real close to being thrown out of the band. When he looked at that bell, I know he almost had a heart attack, but he would, you know, something happened to him, we would send him out and he would bring him back in. But let me tell you, there's nothing, if you're in that band and the way that we were and the way that we played, man, our drummers, our French horns, bass horns and everything, clarinet, everybody, we showed out because when we were marching, we had steps. And our band, and I'm telling you, Mr. Wesley, it was all in us because Mr. Wesley went to fam. I mean, you know, so you know that was going to be in us.
That's right.
You know? So we came in, man, and I'm telling you, it was real inspiring, a lot of fun, and I enjoy and remember everybody, man. We had a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Man. Hey, y'all was having fun because you look like y'all was having fun, man.
Oh, man.
It looked like you was having fun.
Hey, when we got at the football game, everybody out there, the team out there, man, when we came out that band room, it was smoking.
It was time to go. It was time to go, right? That's amazing. So now, Valerie Scott, Mopsy Scott. My cousin. Hey,
Michael.
Mopsy, let me ask you a question. First of all, because that last band, 69, right?
Yeah.
You know, that last year, you were young. You were like, what, 8th, 9th grade, maybe?
I started the flute in 3rd grade, and Mr. Wesley actually let us come over from SC Spady to be with those guys. So I was terrified. I was so scared. But I watched Reverend Thomas's daughter. Her name was Constance Thomas. She played the flute. She played the piccolo. And I can remember, like Reggie said, following the band and watching her, thinking, "Man, I got to play that flute." And I was, you know, of the youngest ones, terrified of these guys. So Mama said, "Stay away from the older boys." But you talking about one more good time. That's Lockett. I just started calling him, you know, talking to him because I was so afraid of him. Mr. Wesley, Mr. Wesley had a standard, and it was excellence. And Bruce and all of those guys, you walked in excellence, or you didn't walk at all. There was no slouches on that team.
Amen.
And we were just so close as family. It was really unbelievable. Luckily, we were out in the dark one night. The football team went home, and they cut the lights off. He said, "Turn them back on." I was like, "Oh my God, let's go home." It was just awesome. It was really awesome. It really
was. That's amazing.
We had to get the show right.
You had to get it right. That's right.
We marked the door.
Exactly.
My first game when we did the Star Spangled Banner, I just stood there. Vicky Covington instead of saying, "Mopsy, you gotta move. Mopsy, you gotta move." It was like, I'm like, where am I? You know? Oh my God. I had followed that band so many years. Like Reggie said, we followed the band from beginning to end because they had certain places they were going to do a show. So we didn't want to miss that they did. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Now, you know, this guy, I had to verify some stuff. You know, I was talking with Randy Strong, you know, and we were talking about football. And then I started talking about, you know, doing this segment right here, right? So I said, I need to get TFoot, man. He said, I said his number. He said, you know, I was the one who taught him how to play. I said, man, get out of here. Man, you don't have the temperament to play no tuba. Come on, man. And so he said, I promise you, Bob, I did. So when I called TFoot, he confirmed it. He said that Randy Strong taught him to play. And I had no idea, TFoot, that you started out playing football.
Yeah, that's why I'm limping today. I started playing football when I was like in the 7th grade, man. Mr. Pompey went to my mama and told my mama I want him on the football team. I didn't want to play no football. When I got hit in my eye, that was it. then I started watching his nickname, Tit. I started watching Tit and Josh Bird. I used to watch it all the time. And we used to have a little jam session with the Josh house in the backyard. And Josh lived across the street from me. So I was back there with them all of the time.
Wow.
And then I said to myself, I want to play tubas. So I went in the band room one day and there was Randy. So I said, Randy, you teach me how to play this? He said, yeah, come on, get the tuba. So we sat down and he told me every note, taught me how to read the music. But Mr. Wesley had his little rule. Every time I do something wrong, I matched the wrong valve. Mr. Wesley crack you across the finger with that ruler. Get it right, boy. Get it right. You can read. That's how I learned how to play the tuba, man. And I'm gonna tell you, I had some fun. I had the best time of my life playing that tuba. And thanks to my buddy Reggie, Neal, and Sylvester, Dr. Young, and that crazy drum major we had, Lester Lockett. That boy kept those stuff going, and Van Camp had poking beans, man.
I know, right?
We had to get the show right. That's all I know. Mr. Wesley was correct.
Hey, Lester, I like that. We gotta get it right. We gotta get it right.
And we was always together. And Bruce, oh man, when you sit down with Bruce, boy, that was like a history book of music, you know, sitting down with Bruce.
We were lucky to have Bruce, man.
A genius.
Got that right. Got that right.
Hey,
because he taught all of us something, you know. I appreciate him right now today for the things that he taught me on that tuba, man. I really do.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, you know.
Hey, not to interrupt anybody, but can I say one thing to Bruce? Bruce, do you remember when we had the jazz band?
Yeah.
I will tell you now, today it looked dinky, but Bruce, it was me, Bruce. I think Grady played the drums. We didn't have trap set because we were too, you know, we didn't have money for all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I played the bass drum, and Bruce wrote the music. And I can't remember who played. We had trumpet and TFoot. I don't know if you played the bass.
Melvin.
Me and Willie Jones alternated on the bass. Me and Willie Jones alternated on the bass.
Okay, y'all alternate. But we go to our dance, man. That was our jazz band, and Bruce wrote all the music and everything that we played. And you know, we played. Well, we always came in with you, Bruce. I don't know if you remember. You remember Green Onion?
Of course.
All right.
Bobby don't know nothing about Green Onion.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. About me, right? I'm just a little bit younger than y'all, but I was introduced truly to music by Edith Bennett, who is Edith Pitts now.
All right.
Yeah.
And Edith had every 45 and every album. I mean, things like Mandrell that most people don't even know about.
Fence Walk.
I mean, I heard everything at my grandmother's house, Mady Bennett house, right? And Edith had everything. And I even had an upgrade. And so Deborah was a great dancer.
Yeah.
And so she'll be spinning the music and Deborah be teaching me all the latest dance. And then, you know, at Spady, they used to make you dance, right? Man, I'll go in there, man, I'll blow them all away, man, because I got the music, I got the moves from Deborah. Hey, man, it was all over. So I have to this day, right now, on my in my iTunes library, I got a little bit over 8,000 songs, right?
Wow.
7,000 of those songs are from the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Wow.
That's all I listen to.
That's the best time, man.
That's the best time. That's all I listen to. I'm a Stax, Atlantic Records, Philadelphia Sound. I'm all over that place, man. You know,
a lot of good music in that era, man.
Man, great music, great music. Great music. And then
Good
my children give me a hard time about it. I say, well, all the rap songs y'all listen to, you know, they're using our music.
Exactly.
You know, every song, somebody's using part of our music to make it, right?
Yeah.
So our era was the best era of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm partial to that. I'm partial to that.
Hey, one thing I'd like to say, and I hate to interrupt anybody, but I got to say this. Mr. Wesley, love you, man.
Amen.
Appreciate everything that you did for us.
Amen.
And we have a good time. And I thank God for you, man.
All right. Well, you know. There you go, Daddy.
I think y'all
I have something to you at the end. Did you hear him? I got something to say to Mr. West.
Yeah, I heard it.
I love y'all.
Can you hear him?
Oh, we love you too.
We love you too.
Yes, I do.
Amen.
And Tim, Mr. Young, I love you too.
My memory not good, but I enjoy y'all was talk about the good days.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys are still living or not.
They're still living there. They're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
I hope you all saved. I hope you know God prays on it. Because I pray for everybody in my prayers tonight.
Amen.
Thank God for y'all.
Thank God for you. Thank God for you too, Mr. Wesley, because
He did a lot for us.
Hey, Bobby, if I can, he's going to want to sign off soon.
Okay,
so let me just say something real quick on
go ahead, Carl.
On his behalf. So it's really great seeing all of you guys on the screens, and he talks about all of you all the time. I'm going to share a couple of short stories, Bobby, if I could.
Okay. Go ahead, go right.
So he talks about. I've heard everybody mention Bruce and Bruce and how he's helped write a lot of the things. So he talks about Bruce every time we pass by his house. He said Bruce Harris lived in that house over there. Lester Lockett lived in this house over here. So he knows where everybody lives in Delray.
That's awesome.
He talks about Bruce's success and how he wrote a lot of the songs, the popular songs that all the students wanted to play, how Bruce helped write those songs. And so he creates a lot of the Carver success to Bruce's intelligence, if you will, musical intelligence.
Yes.
He talks about Dr. Young all the time. You know, every time we play Bluebells of Scotland, he talks about Sylvester Young. He just sort of like that, and he talks about that all the time. Yeah,
I've never seen anybody play it since.
Yeah, and Josh Burgess, I heard Josh's name come up. And Josh is not with us now, but he talks about how proud he was. I'm sorry. Say that again. Yeah, he just
Josh and Bluebells of Scotland that day. And
that's right.
Awesome.
That's right. That's right. So he talks about you guys all the time. He may not remember everyone. In fact, when we got on the screen, he said, "Who are these people?" I said, so I had to point everyone out. But he talks about all of you guys all the time. He reminisces about the band. He loves you. That video clip that you'll get a chance to see. Fortunately, he was able to. He had an 8mm camera, and somebody filmed that for him. That little segment, the parade and the band. So we had that little bit. So I'm hoping it comes across clear. But he's going to probably sign out shortly after this because he's, we got to go take care of a couple of things here. But Bobby, I appreciate you doing this segment.
Hey, man.
Let me say one thing to Mr. West, if I can.
Go ahead, Bruce.
You know, he wasn't just the band director. He formed all of our lives.
Amen.
As young.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
I can say that I would not be the person that I am today if not for Mr. Wesley.
Wow.
Not for a lot of teachers, and I loved all my teachers, but Mr. Wesley formed who I am. Yes. And because of him, I've been able to do things that I never dreamed of.
Right. Playing
at the White House, being in the band at the White House, going to Africa for the State Department and starting a band from scratch in a war zone.
Wow.
All the places that I've played and sang and done music, and I still do it today. And all of that is attributable to him. And I try to call Mr. Wesley at least 2 or 3 times a year to thank him for what he gave to me. But I see that it wasn't just me. He did that to our whole community.
Yes.
Delray Beach wouldn't have been Delray Beach without Mr. Wesley and Mrs. Wesley.
That's right.
I'll let you chime in. Can I chime in?
Go ahead, Sylvester.
Well, Bruce, you nailed it, man. You know, he formed our lives. And I remember I am where I am now. Trust me, because of Mr. Wesley. And you guys probably don't know, his youngest son, John, played in my Hampton University marching band. He was a drum major. But just as a quick, short, got a little, you see. I know I was a good trombone player, well, striving to be. My buddy, Joshua Burgess, and Wesley took us to the Classic when it was in Miami, Florida A&M. I never seen anything like that. I think we were in 10th grade. And all I wanted to do then was to be in FAMU's band.
Wow.
When I got to be a senior, I'm a much better player than now. To show you how naive I was, I thought Florida A&M University was in Miami.
We all did.
They loaded us up and took us to FAMU to do our auditions, and my life has never, ever, ever been the same since. And he paid all of the expenses. He bought us sandwiches and everything. So Bruce, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh, and I haven't seen him since, I could tell you the last time I saw him. I think it was in 1987. I was the director of bands at Hampton University. And his son, John, was my head drum major. He was graduating in Wesley, and Miss Wesley came to his graduation.
Wow.
Came to a football game. And I had opportunity to introduce him to my really great Hampton band at that time. But Bruce, you nailed it. And I want Mr. Wesley to know you have been such an inspiration to me in my life and my career. If I had to measure it in things, you own it. I'm where I am now because of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's awesome, Sylvester.
Well, right quick before we go, I don't know if you remember, but the day when I got ready to go off to college, I went to university. I wanted to go at Virginia University, and I wanted to go. And I never forget. I left on July 14th because band practice started July 15th, and my mother's was, and we live right there by the train station. And Mr. Wesley said, "Okay, I'll meet you at the train station." But he knew how scared I was. And and when I got to the train station, nobody was there. And Mom told me, she said, "Mr. Wesley's not going to come." She said, "On the train, you go do what you got to do. You already got the training. You know what to do." I led the band. When I got to Virginia Union, I tried out the band. I made the band 3 weeks before the first game. I tried for drum major, 25,000 out for drum major. I went out for drum major. I made drum major. And 3 days before our first game in my freshman year, I was named head drum major.
Wow.
Wow.
Man, that's crazy.
And that's all because of what leadership that Mr. Wesley entrusted me with and instilled in me. He told me, he said, "You can do this. Just go."
Man, that's powerful.
And I was drum major at Virginia Union until I got drafted into the military and went into the Air Force, got the Air Force, got on the police force, sergeant, leadership there, retired lieutenant like 3 years ago. All those leadership skills that I had that followed me through college, the military, and the police force. Thank you so much. I appreciate what you did.
There's not enough words that we could say, nor do we have enough time to express what Mr. Wesley did and what it attributed to our lives. There's no telling where we would have been if we didn't have a band. We probably would have been out there in everything. But in our younger lives in high school, we were able to connect with that all the way up, and he built our character and everything all the way up through that time. And on top of that, a lot of music. I'm so diverse as far as being able to enjoy music as a result of the experience that I had in being in the band. And I would not have been introduced to that had it not been for Mr. Wesley. There's a lot of music that a lot of people miss out on because they just don't have they don't have it inside of them to appreciate it. But there's so much that I've connected with because of my experience with my high school band.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, Mr. Wesley, from all of us, we love you. Thank you for being us tonight. And you have truly made an impact on us all. And what
thank you, Skip.
And what you taught us, we will teach others.
Yes.
So
God bless you.
So God bless you. Love you, man.
God bless you.
All right, Carl.
All right,
take care. God bless you, Mr. Wesley.
All right, listen, what we got here?
All right, that's homecoming right there. That's Melvin Stone. They had a girl drum major and she was tough. They only marched 50 people in the parade, then another 50 came. So that night, they had 110 band members on the field.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
All right, and that's one of the floats there. Can't tell. And that's coming up 10th Avenue, Southwest 10th. Okay, that's FAA. Okay, that's the Teen Sweetheart. Okay, that's the Teen Sweetheart right there with the hard shape. I can't tell who float this is coming behind her. One of the DCT maybe, maybe Miss Southboard, whatever. But that's coming up Southwest 10th, and we take the route from 14, go up to 10th, go east to Atlantic Avenue, and when we hit Atlantic Avenue, boy, we turn it on. Coming up Atlantic Avenue. We turn it on, baby. Turn it on. And when we come out down 5th, we come back around down 5th. It's where we do our little dance on 6th Avenue, right in front of Coleman Funeral Home at the time. Back there was on the other side. And you will see. We turn this corner in a minute. Here we come. We coming down. And we playing Jimmy Brown, Say It Loud, and Black and Proud. Boom. Say it loud.
I'm black
and proud. That's it. Coming up. Say it loud. You know, like, we're gonna turn this corner here. You're gonna see Reggie. Then you see coming around. All right, now. Really coming in. Oh, yeah, there we go. Willie Jones. It was sousaphone. All right, coming around. Roosevelt Bassett there on the trombone. You the hunter. And that last little hat you saw there right quick, that was me, the other drum major. But we was coming through. And that little Fred Ash right there, he grew up too.
Fred Ash. Yes, sir.
Fred Ash. Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
That was a good clip.
Well, listen, guys. I want to ask some questions. You know, Bruce, you were. I want to understand it because I know you're a high school student, right? And so what I hear when a new song would come out, you and Mr. Wesley would get it, and you would write all the parts for every band section, and then y'all get the steps, and y'all do all this in a few days, and then march with it on Friday night. What kind of background did you have at that age?
I know
it. Some God-given that how do you do that? It's like music theory. It's like music theory, and that's the hardest thing for music majors. So how do you? I mean, where did that come from, man?
I guess it was a talent that I was born with.
Okay.
I always had a musical ear.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys remember, Mr. Wesley would have me tune the band.
Yeah,
right.
We would get one pitch, and I could go to every instrument and tune everybody.
Right.
Wow. Sure did.
And the keyboard, everything.
So if Mr. Wesley said, "Oh, that's a good tune. Can we do that one?" I said, "I'll have it for you tomorrow."
Wow.
I was writing out his score first, and all the parts were there individually, and then he would get people to help copy the parts. but it would take one day, and any tune that was out, I would be able to do.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I was telling him, Bruce, that I told Bobby, during our little interview, I told him, I said, one thing about it. I said, when Mr. Wesley saw something, or we heard something, we would give it to Bruce. And Bruce, he'll look at it. Hey, later that day, he's already working on it. That first day of practice, we got it. 2 days later, we got it down.
And then he would get with the majorettes and say, get some steps for this tune. And next thing you know, Lester and them put the show together. It's like,
wow.
You know, I like to chime in. A lot of
Go ahead, Doctor.
It's amazing. People just absolutely in their array don't know that one of the greatest musicians in this country is sitting in this room. That's Mr. Bruce Harris. He's done
a lot of people don't know.
See, let me tell you, because I operated at the very highest level of music education in this country. And Bruce was so popular in the military bands. I knew all of these guys. I knew the guys who used to teach over at Little Creek, Bruce over in Virginia Beach, the music school of music. And Bruce was so important to the Army Band. This is the United States Army Band. And I guarantee you guys from Derry don't even know he wrote this commercial, Be All You Could Be. You hear it on TV all the time.
Yeah.
Harris wrote that.
Wow. I did not know
that. That's crazy, man.
I know he's
guarantee you guys don't know that Bruce Harris. Bruce Harris was over the entertainment of the White House.
Wow.
Now that I knew.
Somebody need to do some kind of a story in a local newspaper in Derry and about Bruce Harris. Really.
Absolutely.
And now I'm bringing home to me, and then I'll be done about Bruce. But when I was a senior, Omega Psi-Phi had this talent hunt contest, and I was participating in it in the Palm Beach. Bruce Harris sight read my solo. I harassed him, go to Palm Beach with me. We played it and we won.
Wow.
Somebody need to do a story about Bruce Harris for the local newspaper in the community, because he's an absolute legend in music.
Yes.
And
I agree with that.
Dr.
Young, I agree with that. I agree with that. But you know, here's the thing. This whole show is about that one thing. It's about legends, right? Now I know, Bruce, it's hard for us to look at ourselves like that sometimes, but we got to realize, our gift to the world.
Yeah.
And how you inspired people who came behind you. And I had no idea these stories that you're telling. And so that's exciting, man. Delray Beach.
Can I make one comment? We talk about the fun of the band, but we didn't get down to the concert band, the sight reading, all county, all state. We went and represented. It was hard work. It was fun.
Oh yeah.
But there was another side to it, the concert piece to it. The band, we could sight read that music. We went to all county and all state. We represented. We did it. We really did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Holidays, playing for the community. I mean, concerts and everything. Yeah, it was big. There was something besides marching, that's for sure. It went over the concert.
It was major.
Reading and
Bruce, I used to often ask about you, and I wondered what happened to you. Do you remember Linda Simmons?
Of course.
Linda kept me up with you. She was my supervisor when I was working at Time Bank. And anytime I want to know about you, she would always tell me. So it's good to see you, bro. Good to see you.
And we had no computers. We had Bruce. He would write the win part. That was amazing. Computer.
And it was all the big stuff. It was all new stuff. We always had new stuff, man. We play if it was out, just out, we were playing it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, listen, guys.
Our song come out, Bobby, on a Wednesday, on a Tuesday. James Brown song come out on a Tuesday, and we playing it that Friday night.
Oh my God.
RBD radio, when his RBD radio, which my brother worked at, but still.
RBD WCKO.
And Bruce would have the music already.
Oh man.
We would have it. So I don't know if that was enfranchisement, but we played it.
You know, George was in the crowd.
And that also showed you the talent of musicians that were there too. Now we had all-star football players, but now everybody can't read music and play music. We had a great instructor that taught us how to read music and stuff. That's how we were able to play that stuff, because what Bruce was writing, if you couldn't read music, you wasn't gonna play.
Right, absolutely.
Think about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that's powerful. So listen now, all of you guys are legends. TFoot, there's so many stories I've heard about you. That FAMU.
Yep.
And I gotta ask you this before I go on. I was told a story one time about you playing down in the classic. And they say you're marching, and whatever you did, some kind of way you slipped and fell. And you get up. You got up with the tuba, you get off the ground with the tuba, and you spin the tuba some kind of way, and did some kind of move, and everybody just started clapping for you. Is that true?
That was right out there in Carver High School. That was right there in Carver High School.
That was at Carver.
That wasn't that fam. That was at Carver.
That's right.
Carver, okay.
That's right.
Yeah, because see, Dr. Foster wouldn't let me march because of my hip. Because Sylvester, Dr. Young, you know for yourself, they had gopher holes out there on that pack. Doc said, no, because you may slip in a gopher hole and hurt your hip again. And we're not going for that. That story you talking about, that happened right out there at Carver High School.
Wow. Yeah. Well, listen, guys, real quick. We got Dr. Sylvester Young who's been with us tonight, man. And we're talking another true legend from Delray Beach. It is awesome, man, to know. You know, he started out in high school playing the trombone, right? And then he mastered every brass instrument in the brass section, right?
Yeah.
Mastered every one of them, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
He played in the Marching 100 at FAM. And then this is the most incredible thing. After he left FAM, he became a band director at Lincoln University.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then at Hampton University.
Yep.
And then I know you were 25 years at our university, Ohio University. But you had a second stint somewhere at Hampton, right?
Yep.
All right.
A lot, man. That's right.
It's just amazing, man. And then in 2013, he was called to bring life back to the Marching 100 in Tallahassee.
Wow.
That's right. Sure did.
And man, we applaud you for that, because what we know and the seed of what we talk about with Mr. Wesley all started in Tallahassee, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's powerful. And so the thing I love that, and I know because you had that discipline instilled in you. You came from that time, man.
Yep.
And so when you went back to FAM you changed the culture. You know, and the most important thing you did, and I always notice when you play football, when you got all those different parts and pieces, if you're going to be successful, you got to bring discipline to the program.
Yep. And
you did that and got that thing going back again and got 200 members back in the Marching 100, so we call the Marching 100 with 200 people, right?
There'll be 300 this year.
Wow, man, that's incredible, man.
But I told the university not to let it exceed 300. That's plenty. Yeah. And as Bruce could say, Bruce wrote some incredible music for Wesley's 25-piece, 50-piece band.
Yeah.
It's not the numbers, it's the quality.
Exactly.
So we live by that.
Amen. Amen.
We were probably the smallest band in the county, but the most powerful. We weren't the largest. We weren't the largest band county. But even Lake Shore, I think Lake Shore.
We were the gamblers, though. I mean, I don't care who we came up against.
Smoke.
They had to bring it. They had to bring it.
They had to bring it. Ain't no
doubt. They had to bring it.
You guys remember Drumline, the movie?
Yes.
Oh man, the step,
Carver's band was drumline
we had
before
in
drumline.
man.
Oh wow. So we had the drum line before the drum line?
We used to go challenge every band, every football game, and we went looking for their best players.
Yeah, that's right. You remember that, Bruce?
I'm telling you,
We called it Roosevelt High. That was our big.
Roosevelt.
I don't care, Roosevelt.
Kennedy.
You on the month. I don't care what it was. They rocked our bus when we went over there, and we rocked their bus. But we went at them, boy.
Everything to be called cutthroat. And
You
at
know,
halftime, like Bruce said, at halftime, we would go and find their best. Like at one time, one of our best saxophone players was L.C. Witherspoon Jr.
Yeah.
And we were going against Roosevelt. Never forget. They had a player by the name of Chauncey Taylor. Chauncey left there. Chauncey made family being after he graduated. And there was another guy. There by the name of Cassius Richardson. He couldn't know one of the baddest sax players around. But they could do nothing.
He made drum major.
L.C. Witherspoon.
He made drum major at FAM.
Huh?
He was a drum major at FAM when I got there.
I know.
Cassius Richardson.
Yeah. I mean, these are
Wait a minute, say that again now.
Because of you and Bogey, I was one of the first people to triple tongue on a woodwind. Remember we used to go around cutting throats? Cutting throats?
Yeah.
And y'all would do it.
You remember that?
You said something earlier, Sylvester. You said that real key.
1 year.
We brought a harmony to the field because everybody in the band could sight read music. Everybody. Even Valerie said that. Everybody could sight read music. So a lot of bands we played against, those guys play harmony, this, that, and other, but no band could do some of the stuff we did going to all the different competitions. Wow. Because I myself was an average little French horn player and was inspired by Reggie and Lloyd with French horn. And when I got off to college, the guy asked me, he said, "What instrument you play?" He said, "French horn." He said, "We got 3 of them here." I said, "That's no problem. I can play it also." It's not large, lead, and direct. I was a French horn player also. And could read. Wow. Yeah, so it was.
Wow. They used to make formations and roll the Hammond organ out on the field.
Right.
And then you play
Hey, how many high school men back during that time that they bring an organ on the field? And Bruce was
nobody.
And so, one thing we didn't mention, we was trying to get a majorette on, but we thought we would have lieutenant on. But we had majorettes not only knew how to twirl, we had majorettes that twirl with fire.
Wow.
Fire.
Wow.
And back at that time, I'm talking about in the late 60s, you didn't see very many high school majorettes that could twirl with fire.
Right.
Mr. Wesley started it, and Eula May Hunter, Shirley James, Arlene Hobson, Lieutenant, Teresa Noble, they could twirl with fire.
Yeah. So
no majorette in the area could do that.
Bobby, did you know that Lester and I were on the tennis team for Carver?
I knew you were on the tennis team as well. Really?
Yeah. I made
what?
On the drive, going back to the Wesley family again, Miss Hill. Miss Hill told me at the senior night, she said, "I dare you to be the next Arthur Ashe. I dare you." Yeah. I went to Virginia Union, which Richmond is the home of who? Arthur Ashe.
Ashe.
Well, we played all of our home games at Battery Park. One day at practice, I'm playing third on practice. We were getting ready to play one at Sylvester School. We were getting ready to play. And back during that time, Hampton was the top in tennis.
What year were you at Virginia Union?
I was at Virginia Union 1970, 71, and 72.
Okay.
70, 71, 72. They had a player there at Hampton by the name of Dana Nottingham.
Okay.
Dana Nottingham was ranked like #1 across the country.
Wow.
And then you had another guy
right? That's a tennis player.
That's a tennis player for Hampton. His name was Dana Nunningham. And then there was another young man that you all had
when you were at Union.
My band director was Mr. Miller.
Okay, I didn't know him.
Earl Miller. He's from Jackson State.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know him. One of my colleagues was the band director there when I was at Hampton the second time.
Oh, okay.
And
but there's a lady lady band director there now. She's been there about 6-7 years. Very good. But it's one of those things that I got there, and a lot of people didn't understand the motivation I had as a freshman. I was nervous about being away from them, but I told them, I said, I'm from Delray, Florida. I said, we don't know what it is. I said, don't worry about it. I said, but before I leave here, you're gonna know about Delray Beach, Florida.
Roberts, what years were you at FAMU?
I was there from 1973 to 1977.
Okay, so you know Kenneth Hanna.
Huh?
You know Kenny Hanna then, huh?
Yeah, I know Ken.
He was your drum major.
Yeah, he was the drum major. Him, Martin Robinson, one of the guys out of Jacksonville that got killed named Jip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there with all of them cats.
Okay, Anna's he's in Tallahassee now. He's a great guy. He does a lot of great community things. We're very close friends.
Oh, that's good.
Friend, he's allowed to have a drink in my garage. So he comes over quite often.
He knows me as TFoot.
Okay.
Hey, Bobby. What is your favorite time that you saw the band? You tell us.
Let them know that you know TFoot.
Say it again.
What was one of your favorite that you saw the band? Well, I mean, I know you liked it.
Well, I got to tell you one thing. You know, y'all played the horse, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
And y'all played it good. Now, the horse was big, and then anything y'all did, James Brown, anything y'all did, stepping, when y'all were dancing, you know, hey man, that was it. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. As a little old boy, I was in love with Wilhelmina Quince. So I see Wilhelmina Quince coming down that street, and I ran behind her, man. I'm 8-9 years old. And so, man, I'm telling you right now, and she can dance, and she can twirl that pond, man. And I'm telling you, man, I had a great imagination, and my imagination was this. I'm Anthony Penn, and my wife is Wilhelmina Quince. I had a great imagination.
Two of the top ones.
Oh, she was really special though.
I was her protector.
You know, anything y'all did with perfection, and y'all did it right. And so it was an awesome time. And I'm gonna tell you something. One of the most disappointing things for me was, you know, as a kid, I'm dreaming to go to Carver High. I'm dreaming to play for Coach Roger Coffey. You know, and I hear the rhythm in the stands. I hear the band. I hear the beat, the heartbeat of everything. And when we integrated, I was so disappointed that I wasn't going to wear a Carver High uniform. I really was. I was really disappointed, you know. And then integration was right for us. But as a kid, when you're thinking that it's going to go this way and you're hoping to do some of the things that the guys ahead of you did, you know, it was really tough. But we did the best we could. We went to Atlantic, and the thing about Atlantic, they played the horse every Friday.
They still playing.
You know, I asked my buddies who went to Boca. They said we didn't play the horse. I said, we got you. we played the horse, and everything for us at Atlantic High School was very good. You know, we never had major racial issues at Atlantic, right? And I think a lot of it had to do with our community was integrated in a lot of ways. You know, I went back and I had Red Odom and Bill Caesar, and I had Coach Nate Odoms, you know, on the show that played for Coach Pompey, 63, 64, 65, in that era somewhere. And I was looking through a program, and I was amazed at all the sponsors that came from the local white businesses in town.
Yeah, yeah.
I was really amazed. I go, wow, they were really behind us in a lot of back then, right? And so we never had major issues when we went to Atlantic. It's like we didn't miss a beat. And, you know, to this day, my classmates, class of 77, man, some of the best people in my life to this day. We keep up with each other, you know, cross the racial lines. Some of my best friends, Bruce, introduced me to high school to Steely Dan. I used to listen to the Eagles. You know, all that great soft rock music, man, was during my era. The Rolling
Stones. That's what ruined you.
That's a ruin. To this day, you know,
the best thing you can do is incorporate music in your life. Yeah,
I love it all. You know, I embrace it all, right? Yeah. And so I got some of them listening to James Brown. You know, T-Funk and fucking that.
We did a lot of James Brown.
Yeah,
we did a lot of James Brown. Oh yeah.
Oh, I love James Brown. James Brown's the baddest man in the face of the planet.
Every band that I had, R&B band, I patterned after James Brown.
Wow.
I had 2 drum sets. I had Go-Go Girls.
Wow.
Horns.
Wow.
They did steps and everything. We changed outfits every set.
What?
And this was overseas in Korea.
Wow.
They had never seen anything like this.
Man, that's awesome, man.
It's like the generals there would fly us to every military base on Korea to just entertain. Then we ended up doing Tops in Blue in Europe. So James Brown.
Yeah, Air Force. Yeah.
That was the guy, James Brown.
Oh, James Brown was the guy. You know, he's a creator and inventor of funk music. And it doesn't.
You remember when he came to Palm Beach Auditorium?
You know what? You
remember when he was at Palm Beach Auditorium?
Show you guys this is a small world. I got a little story about James Brown. I knew James Brown personally. My wife is from Aiken, South Carolina, which is just about 30 miles from Bunwell, South Carolina. That's where James Brown actually was, but Augusta, Georgia. But that's where I was teaching. And I used to play in a little R&B band, Bruce. And we played, he built this really exclusive nightclub in Augusta. They call it the Baby Grand.
Oh, all right. All right.
And I used to play gigs over there with the band I was in. The last gig we played, James Brown never paid us for that gig.
So you owe money too.
That's a true story.
Oh, wow. Story for that. You remember the Chitlin Circuit?
Oh, yeah, the Chitlin Circuit, of course.
When we had the band, the Magnificent Seven, James.
Yeah.
Remember the Big James? We had the Magnificent Seven. We used to play in the clubs, and they would feed us with chicken sandwiches.
That was a penny.
No money.
You just get to eat.
That's right.
Hey, guys, my battery is going dead. And I'm gonna have to leave you guys, but it's good seeing each and every last one of you.
Yes,
God
sir.
bless you all.
All right, Captain.
Take care.
Take care.
All right.
We love you, man.
All right.
We love
Take
you,
care.
man.
Good night, y'all.
Good night. God bless, man.
Hey, call me.
You know, now see, Dr. Young.
All right.
You said something earlier that I really agree with.
Okay.
You know, this story about the music in Delray. You see, nobody knows about this. Some of the things you guys shared tonight, nobody knows about it. But the people need to know.
That's correct.
The people need to know. And so, Bruce, get ready, man. Get ready.
It's a lot of history. There's a lot of history there.
Well, you know,
those that were there to experience it, there was a lot. There was a lot, man.
Man.
You're only scratching the surface tonight.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, we got a lot more for you because the main thing I was trying to make sure that we tapped on, and we did. We we paid homage to Mr. Wesley because none of us would be at our level in music without this guy. Other than Bruce.
Very true.
I was taught a lot of stuff, you know. But I had an ear for it, but I didn't do it. My greatest regret is I didn't stay with piano lessons. I went to piano lessons one time with Miss Groover, and Miss Groover hit my little knuckle so hard I never went back. but I could have enhanced my music career a little bit more because I always felt like the basis, a solid base of music is learning the keyboard. I always felt that. And still, I may go back one day, but it was just so much that I learned from Bruce. I learned some things about the French horn from Reggie and Lloyd. And I learned something from Mr. Wesley because he told me one time, he said, look, he said, you can do whatever you want to do, but Lester, you got to practice. He said, a lot of people don't want to practice.
Right.
You got to practice. So I took that on. Because we had to practice, and Bruce could tell you, we had a limited amount of time to learn that music.
Right.
When we wrote that music on a Tuesday, we had to play Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday because Thursday we got to put the show together. Because showtime is Friday.
Yep.
Right.
Right. You got to be ready.
So who you think is barking down your neck on Wednesday and Thursday?
There you go.
I'm barking because Mr. Wesley is depending upon us to put this show together.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Wesley wrote the steps, and so hey, let's put it together, boys. Let's do it.
We did it.
Let's do it.
We got it done.
Hey, it's incredible. But one thing I can say, and I know when we talk about our town, our city, you know, there's a lot of talented people in Delray. We've had some great educators over the years, great athletes, great coaching, great teaching, great musicians. But one of the things I want to do while we're on this show, before I forget, anybody know about this book that's on here? More Rivers to Cross?
More? No, I'm not familiar.
I mentioned it the other day, my first time ever hearing about it.
Mr. Pompey, right? Wrote this.
Oh,
And you can get this book from the Spady Museum, through the Spady Museum. So I recommend all of you get that.
Okay.
I'm gonna get
Yeah.
Here's another.
I will definitely get it.
Huh?
I will definitely get that.
Yeah,
Sure.
you need to get it's a great read talking about, of course, the struggles during his time of trying to better educate our people. It's an amazing book. So
I got a quote for you guys.
I'm glad you brought that to our attention, man.
I got a quote for you guys from Mr. Pompey.
Okay.
All right.
It's a real short one. And I took this class from him. He said, you know how he was. He said, let me tell you guys about being a leader. He said, if you take two, it's a real simple thing, and I use it all the time with my students about being a leader. You take two men and in a hole, and you throw a rattlesnake in there, and a leader will emerge.
Yeah.
I use it all the time.
Wow.
Leadership comes with quick thought,
man.
execution, and perfection. I've always used that quote.
Oh, man.
That's a good quote.
That's awesome right there.
And one more quote from him about leadership. And that's one thing that I latched on to, and I've used these. He said, it's real simple. He said, you know what? In the valley of the blind, a one-eyed man is king. Make somebody else close their eyes and you open one, you become king.
You become king.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Okay, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
That's awesome. That's incredible. I
like that. I never heard that one before. I like that.
Well, listen, man. This has been an awesome time spending with you guys tonight, man. Man, Bruce, I haven't seen you since I was a little boy, man.
I haven't seen him since I graduated 65.
65. Wow.
I haven't seen him since 65. We talked on the phone the other day. I kept up with his career, but I never talked to him.
Absolutely.
I'm the same way. I kept with Bruce gosh, I think it's 69. I graduated and was up at FAM for 69. And Bruce, let me tell you, I hadn't seen you since then, man. But it is such a pleasure seeing. And when I see you, I think so many good thoughts, man. Because that jazz, I think about that jazz band.
Got the same big smile.
And boy, we had some fun. I'm telling you, we had some good time. TFoot, and Moxie, and all y'all, man, it is so good.
Oh, it's good seeing you too, man.
It's so good to see everybody, man. You know, our lives go on, and you know, we go in different directions and experience different things. But to come back together, it makes you think about. You get that feeling of the band. You know, I mean, it's a certain thing. If you have that feeling for music, it's something that you feel in your soul. It's not something that you just hear in your ear. You feel it. You feel it. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you one thing about me. Now, there's one little movie that comes on every time, and it's called Drumline. And I know y'all probably saw it.
Yes, sir.
I've seen it I don't know how many times. Every time I turn the TV, every time I come by it, I have to stop. It just brings so many memories and so many feelings back. That it's just hard to turn away from it. You know everything is gonna happen, but just to see that stuff in action. There's a real feeling that you have. A lot of people don't know that, but there is a feeling in your soul, down to your bones, if you really like music. And I think that's what we all got.
You know, it's something about music that permeates your soul, and when you participated in it like that, because I can remember just as plain as day the day when Sylvester blew the Bluebells of Scotland. We was in the Carver gym, and I mean this man. And then right after him, Josh Burgess blew the Flight of the Bumblebee.
Yeah. I remember Josh.
If you think that's not an accomplishment, Bobby, I want you to check it out. I want you to YouTube Bluebells of Scotland, YouTube the Flight of the Bumblebee, and YouTube watch this right here. We played a march one time that we all wanted to play, and Mr. West said that we weren't ready for, but we got ready for it. Do you remember the Claxton?
Oh yeah,
the Claxton.
The Claxton. That's class A marching music. So make sure you YouTube those, Bobby, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And the only other band that I ever heard play Claxton, other than the 1 year Cookman played it. It's a march, and it was in their homecoming parade. And I was in Daytona, and when they started playing, I yelled at the lady, said, "What's wrong?" I said, "That's classic." It's called the Claxton. It's something about that gets into you, and a lot of music by John Philip Sousa is the same way. That beat, that march is once again in your soul. Me, I'm a country western guy. I love country western music. Yeah. And Bruce can tell you, we play a little country and western. We play a little country and western.
I got one more. It's music in country western. That's why I say you learn to appreciate everything. I'm telling you.
I got one more for you guys.
Go ahead, Young.
Okay, the band director at Bethune-Cookman, he's doing a great job. Donovan Wells.
Yes.
One of my students.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Cookman strong.
He didn't go to Hampton. He went to Bethune-Cookman. He started his graduate studies at Hampton and worked under me in the band.
Okay.
Well, let me share one with you, Sylvester.
Okay.
I used to write the halftime shows for Tennessee State's Band and also for South Carolina State's Band.
Okay.
Wow. I was in college.
South Carolina State.
The Marching Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Ronald Sargent. South Carolina.
Yeah.
Y'all been spreading that talent for years. I didn't even know.
I'm telling you. If I weren't misguided, I would have gone to FAMU. That's where I'm going. I got
you really tapped into something, like Bobby. You really tapped into something. You really did.
Hey, when I went up there, we used to sit on the side of that hill, man, sit on the patch and just sit out. I mean, we freshmen now. We sit out there, man, and just watching that 100 cut up, man. I'm telling you, boy, those were some good times up there. I'm telling you.
That's my big regret.
Well, Reggie, I can tell you this: going to Florida State, you know,
right down the street.
Yeah, where my apartment was, we can sit out in front of my apartment and listen to them practice across town.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a freshman at Florida State, Flashlight was the hottest jam. They were playing Flashlight and One Nation.
Yeah.
And here we go, the evolution, right? Of jam. That P-Funk is really funk music, right?
Oh man.
Do you guys still live in Delray?
Who?
Do any of you guys still live in Delray? Oh, really?
I live in Boynton.
In Boynton?
I live in Boynton.
Okay.
Right.
Mopsy, you're still there?
Bruce, you live in Colorado, right?
No,
I'm in Colorado.
Yeah,
you
no, I'm in West
from
Palm.
Delray?
I live in West Palm now.
I think I will too. Well, not really.
We should have a reunion. We should get together, come back to Delray, and just reunion.
Let's do it.
And can y'all invite me to y'all reunion?
Of course, Bobby.
Yeah. By all means. You play one of the ones too.
Who Mopsy?
Carver had an album. There was an album.
You made two. You made two albums. Yeah, two.
Yeah, I remember the first album.
Are they in the
because we made it with the choir.
With the choir and the
background. Right.
Yeah.
That's the one I played Bluebells of Scotland on.
That's it. I got it somewhere in this house. I can't find it.
But it got too many mistakes in it, man. That was
well, I couldn't tell.
Hey, Sylvester, my best trombone solo part was James Brown Band when Fred Wesley was playing. What was that song?
It probably Mother Popcorn.
Probably
one popcorn.
No, okay.
I'm gonna get it to you. I get it. I got it on my.
Doing it to death.
Doing it to death. There it is. The best trombone solo I know.
And I mean, he blows it.
Oh man, Fred wasn't no joke. He wasn't no joke, man. I'm telling you. Well, listen, man.
Maceo had a big role in that one too. Well, Maceo had a big solo.
Hey guys, our time is up. I really appreciate all of you guys. Here's what I love about this show. Now I got everybody's phone number. I get to call y'all and just talk to y'all anytime.
Anytime.
But Dr. Young, be ready to hear from me, man.
You're still in Delray?
She's still in
Delray.
She's still in Delray.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, Bobby, thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man, we really appreciate you putting this together, man. It's been a lot of fun.
I really do, brother, because I hadn't seen Mr. Wesley since '87.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And
he's hanging. He's hanging, and he's had some struggles, as you can see, but he's still hanging. He's hanging.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show.
I'll be talking to you. I got your phone number.
Yeah, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for tonight. If you like it, comment, share it with your friends. This is 100 Yards of Football. And we had tonight the great Carver High marching band legends, Dr. Sylvester Young, Bruce Harris, Reggie Neal, Valerie Scott, Lester Lockett, our drum major was with us tonight, and Mr. And so we thank you so much for viewing tonight. God bless you, and we'll see you next week.